Hey there guys, how you doing? This is Ice9 and we're going to do another Madden Mobile video here. We're going to hit this Unsung Heroes promo that just came out in just a second, but before we do that, darn volume button, we got drives to play and we got 4 drive 6s. Okay, so this one is score touchdown or go home, which I'm already home, but lose. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, 32%. And the field goal. Alright, so the collectibles. He's got an ultimate freeze set up here. And that was really frustrating last night, but I have recovered, gotten over it. And, part of the fun is the challenge, which is part of the point of this video, I guess. And this is just what my thoughts are. Alright, so Derek Johnson picks me. Ouch. Big ouch. Alright, trips corner strike. Anyways, alright, let's go. I need to work on that play more. There's a bunch of plays like that I just need to pay more attention to. I'm going to take another look at those drives, actually, and kind of see what the percentages are and kind of see how to proceed. We're going to take... Oh, my God. I need to stop doing that. I really do need to stop doing that. And, what was my rule? If it's within the 2-yard line, let it bounce. That was at, not there. And we definitely have our work cut out for us here. That looks like a counter. It is critical. But get the nice little dump off to Olsen though. So 32% is how that is working. That's a strong percentage. And we're going to try a little play action here. Sanders running loose. Hold on to it. Oh, extension. No alligator arms on that one. Gotta love it. Oh, and there's a critical at 30%. We're going to stick with it. Oh, that looks like another one, though, doesn't it? And come on, Favre. Oh, I want that one. You really can't throw on the move on that play. You just throw it out of bounds if you do that. Now, I'm going to go tight end corner, and that is not a counter look. Double coverage. Olsen, reliable at tight end here. Alright, let's see what else I could kind of run as I went through the 3 best play action plays. And, stronger percentages in a way, doing what I normally do. Kind of makes sense. That's counter. High snap. And we do not get the catch because of that. One of the ways that EA nerfs us in that situation. And catching another softie in that ultimate free setup. And let's go trips. That little bit of hesitation. Boy, if I didn't get that. Alright. And double slants. Dangerous. Dangerous pass. You'll notice I'm using Favre again. And for some of those deep throws, it seems to be a good combo here in terms of going with him and Olsen. It really does. Being able to get it downfield a little bit more it's a different way to play, but having the ability to do that I don't really have with Brady. And I didn't really have it in the same way with Elway, too, although it's a little closer, 96 throw power. But I think that's kind of the threshold, you know. I mean, a quarterback, for me to want to do an upgrade now, you got to have at least 96 throw power and good accuracies. You know, even a more mobile guy with 94 throw power is probably not the way to move forward. Need a guy with a bit more of that, and accuracy too, but Favre seems okay for the most part. Outlet, and we tried to go for the truck, but no dice. That's a counter, hopefully not a critical. Oh, dangerous, very dangerous. Let's go curls. That's a counter look. Yep. And, yeah, let's kick the field goal and lose. Boy, EA, I tell you, they're a bunch of defeatists. And 4th and goal. At that range. Having run a lot of the plays already. Go weak eye, deep curls. And I catch the counter. I knew it because it was freezy. But, you know, I put the pass where I needed to be. Defenders playing back, but what can you say? I lose. Catch another softie. Alright, let's see what I'm doing on this one. I get picked by Sherman, who I believe was in the dime. Sherman is good in that position. A lot of people are like, you know, 85 speed. When I first saw the card, when it first came out, I was like, really? 85 speed? You know, and then Tier 7s this year definitely were not as good as they were last year. That is for sure. But gameplay-wise, it's a pretty good... Gameplay-wise, really all three of them are pretty good cards when you look at it. You know, yes, Eifert is slow as can be, but, you know, in a way that's kind of an advantage, you know, HB option and some plays like that. You know, a lot of times the coverage is playing behind him and you kind of wall him off and just throw it up there to him, and he's so big, you know, I mean, he makes the play. He's never really going to get loose. Well, not never. Never say never, but a lot of times he's not going to get loose, but, you know, he's pretty reliable, and he plays above his stats a little bit, and then, of course, he's got that boost, and he's free. Then, in terms of the other two cards, yeah, I think Sherman, I mean, a lot of teams having players like Jones or stuff like that. I mean, if you've got him at corner 1 or 2, I think, yeah, Sherman is a huge liability in those situations with that speed. I mean, you could have speed boosters or anything you want, and he's tall and he can jump, but, you know, just not fast enough to keep up with the Jones or something like that. You know, and then DeMarco is just a good, solid fullback with a boost, you know, so he can really block. He does a good job. He's a pretty good pass catcher, you know, so he's a versatile player. And, you know, I know a lot of people might want to run Gurley, you know, for the speed boost, and that's actually a better way to go, I think, for a lot of people. But, you know, still, that's a serviceable card. It's just, you know, all three cards aren't as good as the 99s obviously were last year. I mean, right now Emmitt Smith would be playing on my team. He'd be playing on a lot of people's teams, I think. You know, so I might want to take it easy. I think CJ2K might be a little bit better than that card, come to think of it. but it's a really good halfback. That was a really good halfback. And, just some of the other, I mean, Hester, if that July 4th promo hadn't come out with Sproles, Hester would have been a lock at kick returner, 99 with +2 awareness. Rice was probably the weakest. I mean, in terms of gameplay, I wasn't a big fan of that Rice card. And usually what I've seen with Jerry Rice cards, and it's kind of continuing this year with the Super Bowl card, although, that card does make some big plays, it seems to me that Rice just isn't, big enough. His cards are never fast enough. It just is not a good combination of things. I am leaving out, though, last year, the Ultimate Legend that came out later in the year. That was a great card, no doubt about it, but, it's just having a guy who's a little bit taller when there's guys that are taller and faster, and jump a little bit higher. This game really does favor a guy who could go up and get the football. It really does, in my opinion. Anyways, let's see what's going on here. And pretty strong percentages, and hard countered the spread FL drag to my chagrin. And then I get picked by Sherman. So I got to be careful not to run spread FL drag, but I do have strong twins cross open. I've got some nice little plays that I could do. Trips tight end stick, and this is one of the things about, target fixation instead of reading. The way that I play, and I'm trying to change it a little bit. I'm do different things to try to change it up. But, I'm 44, my eyes aren't that great, and playing this phone on this little screen is kind of a pain for me sometimes. So, how to compensate for that, this kind of fast-paced game on a little phone screen for a guy whose eyes aren't as good up close. What I try to do is kind of compensate, and, I predict what I'm going to do. And that's where you get target fixation, where you want to go to a guy. In particular, you kind of have a setup plan of what you want to do instead of reading the defense correctly. Well, in this case, I get picked on trips tight end stick a lot. If that linebacker doesn't delay, if they come down and they cover, or the safety or whoever the case may be, usually it's a linebacker. If they come down and cover, you got to go another direction. So you got to go to that tight end who sets up, or go for the long pass play, which is what I did in that situation. So I'm trying to get better about that. It's one of the things I know I'm really, really bad at. It probably annoys people watching my videos. Bunch Z spot to Marshall, ouch. Let's see. All right, so yakking so much here. 26% is a strong percentage. And pitch was open though. Hard counter unit. Still getting something out of medium counters with those short passing plays. That's one of the good things about those, is that you could catch a medium and still get something done because the plays develop so quickly. So, and then trips. That bunch C spot to Marshall. Ouch, ouch, ouch. All right, so drive 6. Let's try not to score on ourselves. Now, I've had videos before where I've said something like that and then I went and did it. Threw a pick, and say, gotta be careful on this play, and then throw a pick. That's happened more than once. And Olsen in traffic reliably. And as we recall, Pitch was open. Man, good run defense. Falls forward for the first down, but man, just not a lot of places to go on that one. All right, let's go trips. And that time, that linebacker lays off ever so much to try to go to wide receiver one. And able to get it in there. Just looking for that little pause, that little delay. All right. This is good. Strong IFB middle. That is one where right side, they're coming, overloaded. Get rid of the football quickly. Roll right to improve the angle. That whole type of thing. Hard counter unit. Double slants. And, forgive me here, guys, but we're going to take that right there. We get within range on drive 6. We take it. Some people may not agree with that. They may say, play until 4th down, but no, not in Hall of Fame. I'll take those fans. All right, let's play one more. Then we'll get into this newfangled promo, another promo to come out of nowhere. And it's interesting. I just don't know how excited I am about it at all. All right, 24%, so nice and strong against the run. And flare off to Gronk. Some of these games, are old. He's got Olsen. A lot of people are playing Olsen now. They're in my 4th drive. And then CJ2K fumbles. All right, so cross in. Let's see if I could really catch anything else. So just not much in the way of short passing counters as I'm running into this. And a lot of my plays are open. How do you get picked by what? I'll find a way, believe me. He actually made a pretty good play on that one. It's a big body out there when he goes into coverage, man. Which means he should be easy to see too, but yeah, I didn't make the best play on that one. All right, so short passing. Crossing. We're going to go halfback. And we're going to try to mix in a couple runs here. Even though his counter percentages are strong. Actually try to spin move there. Go with bunch. Get another first down. We're going to go strong eye. And that was really good in terms, that was really, I did not like what I was seeing in the middle of the field to the fullback, which is normally where I go on that play. It wasn't looking real good to the tight end too. One thing I have noticed about Olsen, and I've played with Gronk basically for all 3 years, okay? And in year one, for those who played year one, at one point of the year, I believe it was in June 2015, they changed route running, and they kind of made it a mess. I remember at that particular time. But at that time, there was a mobile master, which again became Ultimate Legends last year and this year, Gronk card that I was using. And when that card came out, before that, I believe he had an honors card that was awesome before that a lot of people were using. But before that Gronk card, I was running Mike Ditka actually. They had a Ditka card. And, much smaller guy. I think Ditka is, maybe 6'2", 6'3", something like that. Big guy, but not like Gronk. Going to Gronk, I mean, first thing that I noticed is that Gronk gets hung up a lot because of his size. He gets chipped a lot by defenders, get thrown off his route, etc. Really strong, all 3 years I've been using a 99 Gronk card. And, the thing with it is, Gronk, he's just so much taller. He's tall and strong and just basically walls everybody out, makes plays in traffic. People have referred to him as the cheat code. But he has his bad points too. He doesn't get into the pattern very quickly a lot of times because he gets hung up on defenders. And if you watch him run patterns, you'll notice that. Also this year too, Mobile Master Gronk as opposed to Domination Gronk last year, there's a little bit less speed. And it seems like to me that he doesn't, go up and get the football. I haven't compared the jump between the two players, but it doesn't seem like he goes up and gets it like Gronk did last year. And then the second thing too is he's not as fast. So, Gronk is a little nerfed this year, and now we're already seeing, and this not coming out of Ultimate Legends, out of positional heroes. I really do think in Olsen we've got a player that's better, but it's a different way. It's a different type of player, obviously, than Gronk, who we're so used to playing with. Olsen gets into his patterns cleanly, and that's what won that play. He got into that pattern quickly. I didn't have a lot of time. Then he went up and made a play. And, I don't think that would have been a situation where Gronk would have made that play. With the acceleration and just how Gronk seems to be kind of sloppy in terms of running routes, just not as good as Olsen. Now that Davis card, in my video last night, it really did impress the hell out of me. But I think that in Hall of Fame, I don't know if I'd want to run him at tight end, even though his blocking's good enough and all that to be tight end. But, I personally want a guy who could go up and get in traffic. And Olsen seems to be that card a little bit more. Now with that long thing, what am I doing in this drive? What plays if I run? So cross in. 2nd and 9. We're going to try curls flats once again. And just makes a great play on that one. Got to keep in mind that the flipped spread FL drag is countered. And Olsen got into that pattern very, very quickly. Defender couldn't react quickly enough. Favre with that great arm, and that was definitely good enough accuracy, getting the ball there like that. So, liking Favre again. I was liking Brady for a while. It's just a funny thing. All right, let's try trips. And we're going to go for the gusto. And we get it. Jones does his Jones thing at the highest level in double coverage. It was kind of ill-advised in a way, but I liked the look better than what else I had. So that was definitely quite a bit of a jam job, but we got away with it. And I'm not running Gurley right now, just one speed booster. And in a way, I think I like that better. I think I really do. Having strength boosts is nice. Guys break tackles a little bit better. I think guys hold on to it in traffic a bit better when they've got strength boosters. And, that Sherman is a nice card, that Combine Sherman. It's a nice card. It blocks pretty well, catches pretty well. So that's the setup I'm running right now. And the reason I did it, and I figured I'd try it for the gameplay video yesterday, but I ended up liking Favre so much. There were Hall of Fame games that I played last night where with Olsen now and Favre, just chucking it up on HB option and, Olsen going up and making a play and making Team of the Year Chancellor miss and, just stuff I really haven't been able to do with Gronk and Brady, the Patriots. So, just something that's kind of cool, I guess. Still do like that Brady card, we'll say. Actually, there is, between Favre and Brady and Elway and some of the other cards that are out there, they all have their goods and bads. It's all how you like to play, I guess. We'll play one more. And I just get unlucky with those two softies. I think that might have been my video last night. Angle, Y stick. PAF elemental. Ooh. I've got a hard counter unit going against this guy. Maybe I should reconsider that. And Gilmore just got me on trips. So this is it, guys. I was talking about this a little bit last night. And, and hopefully, I know some guys in my league, watch my videos and stuff like that. But we've got a few guys who, what are referred to as chuckers, they're going to try to go after the big play. And somebody can key on you, with this one, it just gets kind of unlucky. I think I actually changed that game plan a little bit because I did have Angle taken out. That is definitely a chucker type of play, Angle. He's running some short passing in there too. He's mixing it up. This is not a pure chucker. But, he's going to some pretty common plays. If you look at it, bunch HB dive, that's not too common. But Angle is, Y-stick is, Strong Eye Twins PA cross, and he catches a critical. Then spot is fairly frequently countered because it's on the backside of a Y-stick card. But then here are the chucker plays, so he takes a sack and he's really in the hole. So now he's got to go option, critical, 100%, Hail Mary, medium, 100%, and catches another sack. And that is the whole thing. When somebody identifies that you're a chucker and that you're doing that, it's one of those things where the worse of trouble you get into, the more you get in trouble because you keep trying those same types of plays. Or if you catch counters, or in league, you don't even really need to catch counters. Just make a bad read and throw it into coverage and get picked. It's just throwing downfield is more difficult now. They've changed it. And the thing is, at the beginning of the year, it was tough, especially as defenses and game plans started to develop and players got better and better. The defenders definitely have a lot to do with that, and on higher levels, the defenders play better than your improvements will on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, even with Olsen or something like that, that's an improvement over Gronk, in my opinion. But, the defenders, still play better. They come out with a safety with 95 zone coverage and 102 hit power. It's going to make an impact. A card like a Peters, that's going to make an impact at the upper difficulty levels. But now, in November, I should say, they made the changes where the fly patterns especially, but all kind of long pass plays became easier to run. EA realizing that they needed a way to open up the gameplay because it was getting tough at that point, really was. just in terms of, even with Gronk, there just weren't enough good offensive players in the game, and it was kind of rough. So they opened up the long passing game, and they really did that at the upper difficulty levels to make it easier, but of course it made it easier at the league settings too. EA has gone back and changed that now, and we've got the diagonal speed, which makes the game a lot more fun to play, and it makes usering your halfback or receivers after a catch. It takes some skill to do that. Nicole Aniston, who's from X Videos, one of the better leagues that are out there for sure. He's posting videos of just insane running. I mean, he's just got skills. This guy's got skills. There's no doubt about it. So he's posting videos, with, I think it's LaShawn McCoy from, the Christmas flashback card, which is a super rare card. And he's been using that guy with CJ2K as a fullback a lot of times. And he's posting a lot of really fun videos, and he's got skill running the football. So that's how they've compensated. And it was a good change, because running this year and last year too, to a certain extent, but very much this year, running has been very tough to do as defenses have gotten better. Now it's more viable, and they've just, made the long passing game, chucking it up for grabs. They've made in league settings just more difficult to do. So at any rate here, let's see what we're doing on this one. And Gilmore gets me on an uncountered play, but that was trips. Just catch a couple counters. Let's see if I could get something done here if this guy didn't change his game plan with this short passing game. Even though I got really unfortunate and caught counters. See if I can't do anything better. And once again, if I get in field goal range, you're going to have to forgive me, but I'm going to kick it. I'm going to take that win right there, right then. But before we could talk about that, let's get a drive going. That was tough. That was some hairy pass rush right there. That was tough. And wait a little bit to get it to Olsen. Do not throw it right there and let that linebacker react. We're going to go tight end on that one. Once again to Olsen. And we're going to play some double slants. Outlet. Smooth, reliable Olsen. Definitely like this card. And I almost thought about trying to run there at the short second down. Let's see how I did. Did I try any runs on this actually? Because I would like to run on this down. No, I went all short passing. How one-dimensional is that? Yeah, every single play that I've run has been short passing. Okay, and then what have I used on this drive again? Sometimes I remember, sometimes I got to go back and look, especially when I'm talking. Alright, so I've not run curls flats as of yet. And let's see, I get the look to Olsen. And that is just about good enough. Really? I'll try to jam one. That's a counter. And 30%. And you know what? That is close enough for Boswell. That is close enough. Plenty of leg for that kick. All right. So that's a little bit better than yesterday, which was frustrating, but, got over that. So 45-yard field goal and a win. Longest I've kicked with Boswell is 55 yards. I've got one, and that barely cleared the crossbar. Really did. So let's talk about promos, and then we're going to end the video, where we're going to talk about things in general. Actually, yes, let's get one game time out of the way, please. I don't know why I do this to myself, which is one of the things I'm going to bring up in this video, I guess. But, alright, so we've got yet another weekly promo, Unsung Heroes, with the live event. I haven't even looked at the store. I'm sure they have a pack too, right? Let's see what they got. So they got Campus Heroes. No, there is no pack. There's no pack for Unsung Heroes. It's all live event type of thing. Interesting. Very, very interesting. They do have this topper of 2 elite Unsung Heroes sidekicks. 20 Campus Hero packs. 10,000 Madden cash, or $100 for that. So let's take a look at this. New promo. And, play the live event. And so 15 plays through that, and I believe it's 4 stamina, so 1.5 stamina bars, not too unreasonable to get a sidekick. And then from there, you have to put the sidekicks, and you get a choice of 2 Collins cards. And the puzzling thing about this, although, the set requirements, that's not too bad. You're going to get a lot of dupes, though, on this. One of these cards, who's it going to be, is harder to get. It's that type of thing. But I'm sure some of them are tougher than others at any rate. Probably the 87 right to Mario Davis, you would assume, would be the tougher card. The more rare pull, because we know the pulls aren't random. But there's only 5 of them. I say only because that's what 5 times 15, this type of thing was at 75 playthroughs, assuming that you don't get any duplicates, which you most definitely will. I assure you, you will get duplicates out of that. I would guess at any rate. You would have to get really lucky not to get duplicates, I think. So that being the case, and I didn't really see anything in the way of a set. Yeah, there's no set to break down a duplicate, and do something else with it. Not sure if these sidekicks are auctionable or not. That's something that's very, very important, actually, especially with how I've been yelling at EA. So let's see if they've got sidekicks in here as a tab. They do not. Well, let's. Hopefully my spelling. DeMario. Okay, yeah, so these guys are auctionable. Wow. 1.5 million in. Refresh. Is there any more? No, that's it. So 1.5 million for this card. I got him, and this guy's obviously very proud. Very, very proud that he got that pull. Yikes. Okay, so that's a good thing, though. They're auctionable. With their, I think there's kind of promo fatigue, though, with what's going on. And really the problem is, okay, so there's 2 versions of Collins, which is an interesting thing in a way. The choice of player, obviously, coming less than 1 month after Combine, where there's already a 98 Jamie Collins card out there, is humorous, to say the least. But if we look at the stats, they're good. And one of the players is better against the run. I don't know what the block shed or play recognition numbers are. But 90 zone coverage is obviously still very good. He's just not, as fast as the Combine version. But that's a really good card. It's a lower overall, even though that coverage is so good. on that card. And then in the other version, the Gridiron City version, a lot of the same stats, but tackle is lower, and then the zone is 96, which is absolutely awesome. Not sure what the catch number is. I'm really going to sit down and compare that versus the combine version of that card. But, the coverages are certainly very good, and the rest of the stats are okay on it. In some ways, not as good as the combine player, but the coverage is definitely better. And a lot of people, when they look at linebackers, they're very used to looking at coverages. You assume all the other things if they're okay, in terms of stopping the run. But really, we're looking for somebody, a lot of times, because we've had that pass rushing linebacker that's always been out there. It's last 2 years, it's been a Von Miller card. Domination in Super Bowl this year. Although that Super Bowl card could cover a little bit better too. Collins is definitely a better cover than that Super Bowl Von Miller card. And then last year, with that Team of the Year card that was in a set where it was pretty easy to get, that 99 Von Miller last year. And that ended up making my legacy team. But in a guy like that, most people throwing to the right side, a lot of people throwing to the tight end, that means that you want to put him at right outside linebacker, which is the left of your screen, obviously, as you see it. That's the pass rusher. He'll have to catch. He'll have to cover crossing routes and things of that nature, but most people just throw on that right side, so you need a coverage guy in there, and that's what a lot of people look at when they look at linebackers. People who run a 3-4 should look at big, strong guys, pass rushers with decent coverage, but in a 4-3, you definitely look for coverage guy at left outside linebacker in the 3-4 position. Although the 3-4 position's a good one, good place to run a booster and kind of hide a player. Like what I'm doing right now, for example, and just the team setup right now. And I kind of like the way the team plays like this too. So we got Olsen right now, obviously, at tight end. Running Gronk in the slot for a 2 tight end set. Not having Marshall in the slot anymore does take away some things from me in terms of some of those long post patterns on the play action passing. There's a few off plays that have really good plays to the slot. If you've got a guy who's fast and strong and can go up and get it, Gronk will still make plays up there, though. It'll just moss the free safety, and things like that. So it's not a bad thing. But here, anyways, in the 3-4 spot, I've got Urlacher. And even though Johnson is a better overall player, and definitely better coverage and more athletic and things like that, but Urlacher still has that great boost. And we can see if I put Johnson in, it drops me to a 101 overall, even though the offense is still 103 and the defense is 102. Now, eventually, Urlacher will have to go bye-bye, that's for sure. But for the time being, in a 4-3 defense where he's not on the field a ton, and he actually plays pretty well anyways, that card. Always did kind of play well. So, not a bad way to go at all. So you're getting a little bit better overall out of it, but really gameplay-wise, he doesn't hurt that much as well for the time being. Basically for the defense, and I'm looking forward to getting that up to a 103, and looking for that first position hero safety, and then that might do it alone, getting a 99 in there, free safety. And then Beasley, as soon as I see a pass rushing card that I like. Although you can see with the strength boosters on my team now, that really does help out. And that's a good card. It's just, it's a speed defensive end. And where I put Beasley right there, strong side, is trying to take advantage of that right tackle that doesn't like to block a lot. So you get a fast guy, a quick guy on there taking advantage of that, getting to the quarterback as quickly as possible. Looking forward to getting Daniels out of there too. That card's just not the most sexy at all, but he'll do for right now. Now he's a 98 defensive end, but do look forward to positional heroes. And, the fact that EA went from a week where they had two kind of garbage cards here in Zeitler and Daniels. Week 98. So from 1 week, they go from week 98 to strong 99s. Olsen being maybe the most versatile, best tight end in the game right now. A little bit better than Gronk, It's incredible. And I still got Gronk in there. You want to have his boost. And then, we'll try the two tight end setup, and see how the blocking's going to be and things of that nature for the run game. But Olsen's better, in my opinion, than Gronk. It's almost unbelievable to me. And it's unbelievable, too, and it's very cool. You got to give EA a lot of credit for this with their cash-grabbing self. We're going to go back to the Unsung heroes in just a second and that whole debacle. But, this is pretty cool. This is a really good individual player that is coming out of not a pack-only type of set. You could build it with some of the increasingly irrelevant cards in the game. That's pretty cool. All right, so anyways, let's go back to this promo and this whole thing. Okay, so two versions of Collins. You could play him, but there's an end goal in mind. Okay, so doing this set, you get all 5 sidekick players to earn the variant version of Jamie Collins and 1 Unsung Heroes variant cover. What do we do with that? And then assumedly we get 1 from this too. So we could get 2 this week. Should be a once a week type of promo, I think. There's a new defensive unit in town, and it's the Doomsday. And this is how you get that. So you need 15 Unsung Heroes. So if you do 2 a week, what is that? 7 weeks? Wow, this is a 2-month type of odyssey. And to get the Gladiator Stadium for those who like that type of swag. But a new defensive unit. And this is cool. What's been tough is EA bringing out defensive units this year. And, that being the first year of that. I think that they jumped the gun quite a bit with it. They've been better about players this year. We haven't had, players with 99 speed earlier. They've been pacing that a lot more. No running backs with 98 plus speed. No wide receivers really with 98 plus speed too much. All the players that are really fast have limitations. They're small guys or whatever. Vernon Davis's case, he route running and catching traffic isn't as good as like an Olsen or something like that. There's always been something, this year. They've been very careful about pacing the players and trying to get people to want to upgrade more and more and more. Although there's been more boosted players too, which a lot of people like a lot. So, they've had that going on too. It's more about boost than higher overall players at this time of the year. So that's been a difference. And I think they've done a better job at pacing this year as far as that goes. Although we'll see now how crazy it gets, But knowing the last 2 years and how it works at the end of the year, I'm just not going to be upgrading as much. These positional heroes being better, I'm like, thank you. I'm going to use as many of those guys as I can. Just put them in there and then just try to make coins. And then later on in the year, if I could get one of these really awesome boss players or, one of those types of things, if they do GTs again or whatever, golden tickets, then, I'll pick up some of those players. But I'm not going to be upgrading as much as I was last year and things like that. I've just been through this too many times before, with the 4 tiers of 99 players and stuff like that. So, anyways, though, with defensive units, though, it's been more difficult. The first year of them doing that, for a lot of the year, they did pace it because a lot of times in the earlier part of the year, there not being as many ways to get elite trophies in the game this year really affected people's ability to do elite defensive game plans. And so they were unicorns at the beginning of the year. They were just really, really tough to get, and they were super expensive. They were millions of coins at a time when people didn't have millions of coins at all. So they paced that a little bit, but then as things got rolling and the playoff pursuit units came out, and there were easier ways to do that. That came out, in November, along with the MVP sets. That came out. So that was a way that you could get, and there were better ones. And then as promos went along, they had defensive units that went along with the promos. Most feared had 2 of them. Had the most feared one and then the monsters, the midway one, which are still 2 really good defensive game plans, and which is cool, that they're not obsolete quickly, that you could do something with those defensive game plans from October. I think that's a cool thing. But then, they had the Lions one, and it was like the Lions one was kind of a weak one for Thanksgiving. It just wasn't the greatest one, defending short passing and a couple of off plays, as I recall. But then Ultimate Freeze came out, and this whole UF soft setup came out. And, I jumped on top of it. I remember seeing day one, and one of the gifts, I believe, which was the first one to come out? I always forget. I want to say it was the run and short pass came out first. Or maybe it was the long and play action, actually. I forget. I really do forget. But at any rate, one of them came out first, as the gifts opened day after day. And those collectibles have been out before, so we knew they existed. And so I knew that second gift was going to be, it was like the last gift left. So I knew it was going to be soft counter. It was going to be an elite soft counter card. So I got them as gifts, and that's, that is the way that I'm able to run a soft counter setup, and I saw immediately, with those cards, man, if you could put 5 of those cards in there or combinations, you're just playing the odds, people are not going to just pick on uncountered plays that you're running. So I wanted to try it, and it's proven to be very, very effective. I wouldn't say that it's the best defensive game plan going, soft counters. I think it's good if you're lazy, to a certain extent, because you could just put something out in there and you're gonna catch a piece of what everybody's trying to do. It's just playing the percentages, and once people realize what they're doing, in some ways it's easier to play against a soft counter unit. Of course, until you start catching 3 or 4 counters in a row, then you got a problem. And that does happen. Although it does happen with hard counter units as well. But anyways, when EA did that with the Ultimate Freeze and the pack going right along with those plays, is once I started seeing that, and especially after the January update, the January update where they've got all of a sudden, they've got the criticality as a factor: low, medium, and severe. And with that update, the soft counters on hard and soft units started firing more frequently. There's no way. I play this game too much. There's no way the odds stayed the same as before that January update. There's just not a chance, you know. And then, of course, you couple that now with the March update where defenders play better in league to league anyways, whether it's countered or not. Medium counters are very dangerous. In some ways, they're more dangerous than severe counters where you take a sack, because if you don't know you're being countered and you try to throw it up there, you get hurried because you do get a little bit more of a pass rush, and you throw, you try to jam a throw in there, you get picked. You turn the ball over a lot. And even on uncountered plays now, defenders just make better plays. Again, I like this update, but, the thing is, these counters are firing so frequently. Hard and soft unit, lower and higher percentages. They're just firing away. So EA, in a way, kind of capped themselves. They've ratcheted up the pain so hard now that what can they do with the new defensive unit? They can't increase the percentages anymore. The units already play over the percentages anyways, for the most part. People are completely aggravated with that. Me, I'll raise my hand. Me too. Last night, my video, I almost threw my phone into the wall. I really did. I was just that. I was laughing about it, but it was just, it gets ridiculous in terms of how the soft counters fire, how frequently they do. So, what is EA going to do? They're kind of in a quandary, because if they come out with even better defensive units now, where we know defensive units has been a pay-to-play type of thing, but if they come out with better ones, they're just going to make the game not fun to play, and then make another big difference between those who spend money on the game and those who don't. They make the game even more pay-to-play. With this defensive unit, it's, the percentages are the same as the pack. 8% against all play types. But there's different boosts now. +2 speed, +2 strength. Now this one is harder to get than the pack unit. I think everybody would agree with that. A lot harder to get than what the pack unit was. You got to play this for 2 solid months and get both players a week in order to get that. And the Collins card, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad card for this week. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know if it's worth replacing the 98 Combine version that, only really went for 400,000 or 500,000 coins. And then to go towards this long-term thing of getting this, and what I'll say, okay, so the percentages are equal to the pack, which has been out for months, obviously. +2 speed, +2 strength. A lot of strength boosters anyways. That doesn't really show up all that much on defense. But speed sure can. But here's the problem with this. And going after something so hard like you would have to with this. And this is the mistake that EA is making. They know people love speed boost. They really do. But I want a speed boost for my whole team that shows up on my offense too. Speed boosters are awesome on offense as much as they are on defense, which you don't even get to play your defense. So it doesn't affect the offense. And then the other thing is, it seems to me that league settings being tougher than what they were, but still, on uncountered plays and depending, defenders generally don't play up to their stats in pro settings. They just don't. So they're playing up to their stats a little bit more now, for sure. So this makes a little bit more of a difference. But why not just try to have fast overall players with good pursuit? Because that's definitely part of how fast the defense is pursuit. we're at the point of the year where we could get really good defenders with good speed and good pursuit, and better ones are going to be coming out. Why knock yourself out to get something that otherwise we already have? And then at the upper levels, yes, you get burned on big plays and speed matters and things of that nature. But for the most part, the defense plays so much faster than they do at the pro settings. Then, this becomes a little bit unnecessary as well. They already play great on Hall of Fame, and especially as better defenders come out. Is +2 speed going to make that much of a difference? So, it's a promo, and they're reaching. EA is reaching at this point with this promo. We got all these weekly promos, and once again, we're not going to get too negative because we got a lot of things going on. EA is doing a lot for us, and hopefully All Rookie comes out too, actually, and is a lot like last year. That'd be fun if they did something like that for last year, because people need to make coins. I don't know how much this is going to move the economy. It just doesn't seem like it's going to move the needle that much, but it is a cool thing that they're doing. It's just, I don't think that's worth it. If the players are really good individual players, like if that was a 98 Collins card or something like that, I would think a little differently, because you could get a good player every week, kind of like a positional heroes type of week. But in this one too, the other sucky thing is it's the same player. You can only play one guy out of this, and then what, you're going to do the set twice to sell them. But a lot of people are going to be doing this to get the defensive unit, so that's going to drive costs down and force people to be spending money to get cards that really are not as good as some of the cards that are in the game, to try to do the setup from that. And the whole thing, it doesn't seem to, people are going to realize, screw this. It's not worth it. But if you don't have an ultimate free setup, or you don't have the pack unit or something like that, it might be a good one to go for. But man, I'm not sure how much I would work on this. I don't know. Maybe that speed will make more of a difference than I'm accounting for, but somehow I don't think so. But, that's basically it for that new promo. We'll have positional heroes tomorrow, and it's my day off, so I will definitely do a video. Depending on what the live event is tomorrow for Gauntlet, I might also try to knock out Gauntlet. We'll see how it goes. If it's the Pocket Presents event, it's not going to happen. It is simply not going to happen. But if it's like win in the fourth quarter, or another running M challenge or something like that, I'll do it. Maybe a field goal one would be okay, but otherwise, if it's that Pocket Presents, and I'm kind of scared, somehow I think it's going to be Pocket Presents, but we'll see tomorrow, because I want to try out Edelman too. But I am excited though about that Olsen card. That's a cool thing. It's a very reasonable set to do for positional heroes this year. And you got to give EA a lot of credit. And they've got so much going on, and with the defensive game plans and all the other pay-to-play aspects of the game this year, it gets very, very frustrating. I've said it very often before, and I'll say it again. There's no way I'd still be playing this game if it wasn't for League. If it wasn't for the competition, having our guys hanging out, trying to get better, competing, that's what it's all about. But to a certain extent, too, you have to have fun. That's what we try to do in our league, and I try to keep it competitive but fun. It is a game, and don't get me wrong, I don't want that to be like a cop-out for us to suck. And we have sucked in some of the games that we've played, but it's one of those things where you have to balance the competition with having fun too. And You know, it seems to me that the less we focus on promos sometimes and more we focus on just trying to play better, you know, we'll be happier individuals getting more out of the video game of our choice that we're playing. That's what I think. So that's it, guys. That is my video for the day. Thanks for watching.